Hello everybody, I go by the name is Mr. Balls in the building. It is after 17 and yes, it is. What are we talking about today? Real quick. Today is actually very special. I always say that, but it is special because every episode is special. And today we are on episode 10. Same way. This number is divided by 2. And I'm really happy that on episode 10 we feature my brother Timothy. For the first time I'm introducing someone's name. And the reason why I'm calling him by his name because today you're about to learn something about finances. Because this guy goes way deep when it comes to money markets. I've never met a person who's so focused on stock, inventory, shining, retains, and before I even go far, you can see we have, what do you have by the way? What did you order?
This is a latte.
It's a latte. And this is masala chai. And this is not just anywhere. This is Mocha Mocha. Just in case you're wondering where Mocha Mocha is. Mocha Mocha is a cafe garden and a gift shop in your tower. And the location is actually very simple. Just after Northern Command, if you are going to Ndeke side, it's on your left hand side. The gate is actually green. If you want yourself a meeting, you want a place, if you have a place you want to relax, Mocha Mocha is a place for you. The name is too nice, you have to say it twice. And not only that, we have our sponsor. Bro, I feel nice to be proud of saying that. We have our sponsor around here. Just in case, I know they can see it, but you can't see it.
Yeah.
It's actually Quantum. Who's Quantum? You are a money person, bro. In case you're looking for a beautiful car, you're looking for a car that's reliable. Here in Indola, here in Zambia, Quantum are the people for you. I know behind the scene we're talking about the car. But Quantum are the people for you. Why pick Quantum? Quantum, it's because they're reliable and you can never go wrong. And with that said, let's jumpstart our episode of today. Bro, how are you doing?
I'm great, Chelsea. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. What's your highlight of the day?
Well, I think today's been an amazing day. I'm being on the podcast for the very first time. And I'm really looking forward to the experience.
This is your first time being on a podcast?
Yeah, and it's a great privilege. And thank you so much to the team and to you for really just considering.
Oh, really humbled. And thank you to my team for actually allowing this episode to go through. Because the reason why I really wanted this to go through even the most, it's, many people out there, everyone knows entrepreneurship, bro. Like everyone said, I'm an entrepreneur. Everyone is saying this, but majority don't know what happens when you enter into entrepreneurship. And that's where you come in. Like, what are the things you could say when you find yourself in entrepreneurship? What are those must-do things in entrepreneurship?
Okay. Well, I'm not the biggest fish anyway. I'm still in the learning phases and those things. But I think that one thing that's very important even when you are in your entrepreneurship journey is number one, to keep an open mind. Keep learning because markets change every day. Okay, what's trending today might not trend tomorrow. And what's trending tomorrow will not trend the other day. So I think that one of the very most important things is to keep an open mind. Know what's on the ground and be foots on the ground. Be ready to earn money in any way possible. Today you might start out with a podcast, and tomorrow it's nobody's maybe on YouTube, and there's a new thing. You remember long ago we had radio stations.
Very true.
People are no longer as acquainted to radio now.
I used to.
Radios are, of course, they're still in the market, but they are not as much as they used to be before. So imagine if you only stick to the idea that you are, a newspaper company, when you can now move to Facebook, and so I think that.
And there's so many people there were so powerful names in Zambia doing newspapers, and right now you wonder where they're going to, because they failed to adapt maybe to what's happening. And talking about that, you are a person who just didn't go to school to do one course. You went to school, you did this course, and you went to school to do a different course. Like, would you say, what even made you to go in different courses? Like you did business administration, right?
Yeah.
And you went to do entrepreneurship and stuff. Like, what made you do different courses, and why is it beneficial for people out there to learn? Don't put one basket in shiny.
Yeah. Here's an interesting thing. I've never been a bookworm. Surprisingly, no, for real.
Really?
No, I actually don't like books, but I'm a very curious person, and I think that's where we misplace it because we look at school as an advantage to get a job, and we miss the idea that education is supposed to give you information for everything. When we get our jobs, we are not paid because of the qualifications we have, but our ability to put our knowledge to use. So we have many people today who are in school, and their idea is when I get done with this school, I must get this. I remember when I was doing my first degree, what was on my mind was I was always checking. So how much do business administrators get in this
like,
current market? Like this is the money that's there. But you realize that there are people who have less the qualification than you, but earn more money. Why? Because they are not being paid for the qualification they have, but the ability to put that knowledge to use. And I have over the years learned that when I am going back to school, and I'm still going, it's the idea is not to get the qualification to get a job, but to put that knowledge to use even in our day-to-day. Yeah.
That's really, like getting knowledge and putting it into like function in our day-to-day. I remember as I was doing my research, I didn't even tell you I was doing my research, but we had a very interesting conversation when it comes to, because you're a kind of a person who's particular on how you dress. Like, you're really big on how you dress. Like for you, it's not really how expensive something is, but it's how that thing would suit in an occasion you're going to. Like, what would you advise someone by dressing? The dress code can actually speak for you before you even speak. In that sense, like, how would you advise these people into business and the dress code?
For me, I think I have a motto. I call it dress the way you want to be addressed. Have you ever noticed that when you get to the station and you are there in your all casual clothes and whatnot, the conductor will be there. Hey,
come by way.
Boy, but as soon as you maybe get the formal dressing, it will be boss, uncle, shan, and yet you're like, uncle, you're actually my uncle. Why? Because they're looking at you, and in their mind they are already getting an idea of how they should address you. And I think that's also very important in our business circles, because if you're going to it's part of branding. Your brand is not just your Quantum Leaf, but you as Quantum Leaf, and I'm using this deliberately, as Quantum Leaf, how do we then brand ourselves to be different from other companies? Look at this place we are at, Moka, very nice, quiet place, it's clean, and it's
one of the guys who started calling me, Moka, how are you? Because I post Moka, Moka, how are you?
So it's part of all of that thing. The question that people will be asking themselves is, why should I go to this place and not this place? So why should they pick you and not pick someone else? And even in business, it's very important, because you might have the right product, but because of your wrong branding, you miss a client. Someone might want to come to you, but because of the way you are looking, they're like, maybe he's a scammer, maybe he's this. Just you are one wrong text message away from missing a client. I remember one time. So here's a funny story. One of the businesses I once did was I was in media, and I was doing photography. Okay, so how I studied photography was, of course, I was serving under a church, but there was this Indian family that was shooting a wedding, and I was holding a camera for a guy who had gone to the bathroom. So this guy walks up to me and says, so you're part of the team that's shooting this side and whatnot? And I'm like, oh yeah, we are. He says, can you come and I would like you to shoot an event. I knew nothing about a camera. I said, I'll be there. So let's,
I'll deliver.
Yeah, I'll be there. He says, okay, so I would like to talk pricing. Protea Hotel had just come in $2. Would like to talk pricing and all of this thing. And I said, okay, no problem. I walked from Kansenshi to Protea. And I told him, let's meet at Protea and discuss pricing. And when we met at Protea, I only had like 250 kwacha, and I used that to buy them, the refreshments and whatnot. And as we talked pricing. Oh,
you walked there and you bought them?
I bought them food.
Oh,
I went to
I
went to the bathroom, cleaned up, and I bought them food, and we're there discussing, and we're charging. Because I knew the family, I did a bit of a background check. We're charging $100 for a set of 20 photos. Okay, around that time the dollar was around 50, so it's like 1.5. And for them it was a small thing. Okay, we'll do it. I knew nothing about it, and in fact they actually negotiated. They brought it down to like $60 a set of 20. I said, fine. I actually don't do that, but I'll send some people to come and do it. In my mind, I just don't know how to do photos. So I had to subcontract some other people, and they came.
Now I'm curious, what happened to the guy whose camera you were holding?
No, he's the one who went to shoot. So he
you subcontracted?
Yeah, so he subcontracted him and gave him something.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking to that because, number one, they picked from how he was, of course, doing his photography around the place, and they're like, these guys are good.
Yeah.
And after doing my research of the family, I was like, I can't meet these people in a car park if I want to get good cash from them.
Yeah.
If you take a person to a particular place like Protea, which was at a high standard at that particular time, it gives them an impression of who you are. And that's why
in this case, you're taking somewhere like
Mukuma.
Yeah.
You have an idea of, okay, so this person understands elegance, they understand these particular things. It's all part of how you brand yourself.
True.
Yeah.
That's actually very great and insight on knowing how to go about things in life. And one aspect again that really caught my eye is you are a kind of person where if someone comes to you looking for business, you research deeply in any kind of build before you even go to.
Yeah.
What would you say is the highest, how can I put this question? Why is it so important to research about the business before, like getting informed about the business before you even venture into it?
You don't look down. I'm telling you, you don't walk into a business and people are telling you, okay, so there's this, and then you find that they know you don't want you. In fact, what you should always avoid is your client having more information about a particular product or business than you. If you're going to deliver it, they must be able to learn from you, and that builds curiosity. And it sounds like you know what you're doing. You're much different from a person who comes into the thing and your clients mention something, you quickly have to go to ChatGPT and say, also, what does this particular thing mean? So even when most people are buying other products and you realize that they'll do a certain degree of research about that particular thing. So you have to always know a little bit more than they do. Yeah, and that's why research is very important. It gives you an advantage. It's like an advantage in short. Yeah.
And you know what? By the more you say like, what's crossing my mind is like, I think quantum wants me to talk about quantum. So I'll be forced. That's actually one of quantum's class.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, before I even talk about our sponsors, I would like to ask this question. Looking at, it's not easy to just, you're not born like this.
Yeah.
Each and every person is built to be what they are. What built this version of yours? Because you can't just look at, you have to go about this, have to do this.
Yeah.
But what spiked that? Like what made that thing come out of you?
I'll deliberately say I'm still in the building process. Okay, I'm still in the building process. But I think that one thing that has brought me to where I am, circumstances of life. I didn't choose this life chose me. A big inspiration actually has been my family, my dad and everyone just around me. They've always had their feet on the ground, and the idea that you can, I'll jokingly say this, deliberately, when you pick people of a certain who identify differently, like you're born this particular gender, and you all of a sudden just believe you are this other gender. It shows you how powerful the mind is. Like you can choose to be anything.
And you know what it reminded me of? That I was watching this movie, and there was a guy who was saying, I have a friend of mine, he can actually sell anything.
Yeah.
Like, you are that kind of a guy. Like, even if they gave you, like, okay, can you sell, sell this product? You don't even know what the product is. Like, you are that kind of a guy who can actually sell something just like that.
Yeah.
Because of information. But what are the skills if someone wants to be, whether a businessman or apart from them being informed, what are other skills they must look out for that people don't really know or talk about?
That's a bit of a broad question, and I think first we should define what the difference between a businessman and an entrepreneur. Because to be an entrepreneur, you must be somebody who has a system that works for you. That even in your absence, you still earn a revenue. Then you're an entrepreneur. But if you have to be there for your business to work, you're a business person. And that's the distinct or the most the smallest detail that I would give. So in order for one person to be able to sell anything, number one, they must. One of the most assets that I believe, aside from knowledge in business, I think it's also networks. Because like the story I first gave you, what was my advantage wasn't that I knew how to do it, it's that I knew someone who can do what they wanted. So I might be seated here and I'm told, okay, so we want you to run, let's say, a network in dollar, and it's a TV station under this. Can you do this? I know I have LC in my mind. Okay, so LC is a presenter. He probably knows some people behind the camera and all these things. Okay, fine, I'll do it. And I'm just the face at the end of the day. So I believe that networks are also they're more valuable than even money itself, because you can have the resources, but if you don't have a network, you realize that you just have that money laying around. So I believe that networks are also very important.
That's actually very true, because someone once told me that the network is a network. So it doesn't matter how low someone is right now, you have no idea who they know. And it doesn't matter how low your beginning is. I'm talking about beginnings and networking. Who's that person that you met and you feel like, I was not supposed to meet this person? And who's that person when you met him, like, nah, this move actually helped me out? And how did you handle it?
I don't really know how to phrase it, because I believe that I'm one of those people that believes that everything happens for a purpose. So even the people that I met who I believe broke me at that particular time or at any time in my life, there's still something I learned from them. That bad people exist. I'm just joking. But anyway, there's so much I can learn from such people.
People don't know you're a comedian looking. This guy is a comedian looking.
But anyway, there are a few people who I met. One of the people who I believe was very instrumental to me was in my, I think, third year, I met a man, a company where I was doing my internship. And I only knew him for 2 months. And it was amazing because when I left that organization, he was one of the people that continued to reach out to me and to speak to me and to encourage me, even when things had, you know that thing where you're sure you're getting the job here and things just go south. And he was one of the people that I would say has continued to even believe in me till date. Once gave me 6,000 coach and just told me, see what you do with it and pay me back whenever you can. And I think he's one person who gave me the idea that if I'm going to pay back this money, I must put this money to work. And I kept working it and working it and working it, and I took long to pay. Because I kept on thinking, it's not yet enough, it's not yet enough. And that's the thing with money, it's never enough. You just keep pushing and
don't use money that belongs to someone else.
But I think that's one of the people that pushed me.
And you know what, we have talked about a lot of things, but as the coffee is nice, my job requires me to say something special about the company that's looking so beautiful. Just in case you're wondering where we are right now, this is Mocha Mocha. The name too nice, you have to say it twice. The moment I will stop saying this, people are going to get used saying Mocha Mocha, the name is too nice, you have to say it twice. And who's Mocha Mocha? It's a cafe garden in your town and a gift shop. Just in case you have a birthday party, you want a gift for someone special in your life, Mocha Mocha is a place for you. Just in case you want to go for lunch, you want to go for dinner if you like to, Mocha Mocha is a place for you. Trust me, it's really quiet. It's a place that you find your peace. You want to work on your laptop, Mocha Mocha is a place for you. And not forgetting Quantum, you need a car. A beautiful car, a brand new car, a car that's reliable. Quantum is a place for you. Quantum is a company that sells cars. And Quantum is not just like any other company. Why I'm saying that is because they're reliable. Many people right now, where we're living, they're full of scamming. People are scamming people. Quantum are the people for you. And with that said, bro, each and every person, despite how big you are or how small you are, as we were doing our research on you, at some point, you were a regular customer when it comes to go into the office of the principal of a dean, because at some point you had school fees issues, and people would look at you like, because you're looking people won't really know the background and what you went through. How did you handle that phase? They'll be like, life is hard. You can't even afford maybe to pay school fees at that point in time. But how did you handle it?
Like I said, this life, I didn't choose it. It chose me, and it's points like that that open up your mind. You know, also if you want to know that there are business opportunities in this world, be broke. Then you see that even in plastic has value. Yeah. Like I can say, you know, and then you know, cash money even pay. You know, if I buy one sausage, I'll do this, and I think that in the first phases, of course, it was a really down moment. You would always think like, but why is it that these people who are able to afford this? Why is it that these people? My dad, and I'm speaking about him without his permission, is one person who I consider to be a stubborn person. Because why stubborn? Not that it's in a bad way, but he had an idea of what he wanted his children to go to, and he has this book that he has written, not again. Okay?
Oh, he wrote a book.
Yeah, no, it's just his diary, and he calls it not again. So he writes down the things that he says would not happen again in his generation. And one of them that was written there was that none of his children should go to government school until they are at grade 8 and above. So even when things were bad and we were below grade 8, to him he was like, primary, go private. And this whole thing of junior secondary is when you go to a government school. So it eventually had to open me up, because I kept on thinking to myself, these people are living this particular life that they are living, you know. I called myself the underdog of my circle, because what people easily got, I had to work to get to it. Okay, what people would just call their parents and say, oh, this. For me, I had to work to get to it, and that was an eye opener for me, because then it began to expand my knowledge and say, but why is it that these people have gotten these things and we are not yet at that particular level? Eventually, I began to be grateful to my dad for that stubbornness, because in the quest to try and fit in, I now had to look for other alternatives. And being raised in, I'll deliberately say, the Christian home, it then gives you morals on a guideline on what you can and cannot do. So if I'm then going to be able to buy chips at break and not steal from my dad's wallet, I have to find a source of income. And that if that means now selling pencils and getting a profit for that, it's what it would take, and I'm going to do it. And it shapes you in a particular way. I'm not saying that it was all easy and all rosy. There were points where I know life, you know, but hey, put on the number, pencil.
And our last episode, our guest said, have you been in a scenario where
no, struggles are different, but no, I've never been to the village. No, I've never been. Yeah, why don't you stay here? No, I've never been to the village, but anyway, I had my own share.
Yeah. Okay, we've reached the point where I've asked so many questions, but I'll actually open you to the elders in the building right now. Do you have any questions for our money person today? Elders.
Okay, so they say entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted. Huh? There are ups and downs. There are hurdles that you need to jump through and eventually overcome. So in your journey as an entrepreneur, has there been any hurdles you've had to go through, and how did you manage to pick yourself up?
So it's a very interesting question, because I feel like I'm just coming out of a hurdle. This same particular. So maybe part of what I do, number one, when people ask me what business do you do, I do almost anything as long as it can put money on your table legally. Okay.
I like you said legally.
Just so that I'm not misquoted or anything. One of my strong arms is I'm in the supply business. So I supply materials to different entities. And my biggest clients were the primary and secondary schools. Then they had added some red tape. Of course, on the point of legalizing your business. And that's why I said that it's always important for an entrepreneur to always be heads-on and know what's changing in the environment. Because something as simple as it's well known that you can legally register your business or your company, but we deliberately overlook that. Okay, we deliberately overlook that, and because other people are in the informal
operating
business,
without it.
Yeah, operating without it. Why not? But then when that thing came, and it caught me a bit unaware. Okay, there was this thing, ZBBA. So I didn't register for that, and then January came, and I'm preparing for this deal, and all of a sudden I'm told, no, you can't supply because you don't have this. Yeah. So one thing that I feel you can use to overcome is never change the goal, but change the strategy.
Sure.
You can have a goal to say, okay, by this particular time, this is how much I want to be earning. If you realize that your strategy is not getting you to where you need to be, it's best that you change your strategy.
And because you mentioned ZPPA, many people are unaware that you can't work with the government institution without ZPPA.
Yeah.
And many people just think about Parker, Shani, but ZPPA majority don't talk about it. And I'm happy you mentioned it.
Yeah, let me deliberately give you an example of a business that's beginning to thrive in Angola. That's the transport sector. If you realize that our business, our town as Angola is slowly becoming more dense than it used to be. You know, a long time you could move from one place to another in just 15 minutes, and now you have to be stuck in traffic because you have all of this. And now people have chosen an alternative, which is bikes.
Yeah.
So the bike business is slowly booming. But here's the thing: people are buying bikes, not registering them, and even for unlicensed. At one particular point, that thing will need to be legalized.
Yeah.
You might have a traffic officer just come in one day and just get everybody who doesn't have a license, every bike that doesn't have a number plate,
and it's already happening.
Away.
It's already happening because we interviewed Rexa at the radio station. I was almost I used to work to know I work. And that's one of the issues that was raised, that people, but they are going there with right intention to say, anyway, we want you registered.
Yeah.
But the challenges that they had the most is that most people on bikes are foreigners. So it's really hard. Like in Dola, for example, it's really hard to register them because majority of people to Galatin.
Yeah, you see, sometimes it looks like you might look dumb in the process when you take the legal route. Why are you paying your taxes? Why are you doing this when you can do this for free? But the thing is, in the long run, it's less costly because eventually anything that you do will catch up to you. So you might be here on a podcast and you might have skipped a few hurdles, but those hurdles will come back to you eventually. And that's why even in one of the things that I also do is I help businesses register as well as attend compliance throughout. And I have come to see that there was one company where they had registered in 2017 and they were like, let's continue doing business and not pay our taxes. So when this whole thing came in this year, they reached out to me and they found that they were owing the government almost 300,000 kwacha. And you're asked to pay that or forfeit, like you forfeit the property in that particular instance. Now imagine, you could have been telling the government, for example, if you're not running it, if you're not making profits, that you are earning zero tax. And it's just that simple. It's 5 minutes, you're on your laptop and you're done. But that ignorance has costed you 200,000 kwacha. It might seem like it's something that is small in that particular time, but to pay it at once as 200,000 kwacha, it feels like a lump sum. So sometimes to just avoid problems, there's nothing wrong in just going the legal route. That's it.
Yeah, true.
That's it.
And that's very insightful. And I hope people, the elders, do you have another question? All right. This is actually this is special.
Yeah.
I've never had a question from that elder that side. All right, elders, any questions?
Okay, just the question is very simple, and straightforward. As an entrepreneur, you have your ups and downs to get where you are from the point that you started. What's advice can you give to someone who came to you and say, okay, this is my line of path, I want to be like you? What are some of the advices that you can give them? For example, take it as a 20-odd you. What are some of the advices that you can give that person that you don't want that person to go through that you went through?
on the mistakes that you made.
Okay.
Yes.
So I believe that one of the mistakes that I think I made in my earliest times was the idea of today, thinking now. You make a profit and you're thinking, let's go and buy shoes. There's time to build and there's a time to eventually reap from that. I have learned to appreciate every moment. Every moment is a brick to the next. You might have, especially in business, every coin matters. Sometimes you find us discussing certain things and you're like, does this guy go to church? I don't know, one kwacha change. Do you know how far one kwacha can take me? So you have a process of building, and that's why I say that it's important to have a plan. So if you understand that you have a plan and you're not doing your business barely just to survive, it gives you a shape of it. It rewires your mind. You begin to know that this is where I want to be, and I'm not there yet. So I'll continue to invest my time, my effort, my energy, until I get to this particular level. So don't just start business because everyone is doing it. Have a plan. Why are you starting your business? It also gives you a perspective on what business to start. Because sometimes we have people who just say, but I didn't pin for combat business. What business? Then you hear them go quiet. You haven't really sat down and thought to yourself, where do I want to be after this particular time? Okay, after this period of time, where do I want to be? Then it tells you, and I'll deliberately keep this in. Have you noticed that most Zambian businesses do not last for generations?
True.
Because we have, like I continue to mention, in our minds we are thinking of today. We are not thinking of generations to come. In the quest to give our children a life that we didn't have, we deny them the ability to know how the business functions.
True.
So then when I pass on, there is nobody to run the business because they don't know who my supply is. They don't know how I used to trade and all of these things. And we do not have generational wealth or generational business per se. Of course, there are a few that are there. But because we don't have a long-term plan, we then limit it to today. Okay, we have our cars, we have our money, we have our houses, and we think this is it. Yeah, so I think that the 20-year-old me, I would say, is sit down, have a plan, and use that to get to steps ahead.
Are you satisfied, elders?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, whatever goes up must come down. It's after 17. We're not after 21. We are after 17. And with that said, I don't like leaving a podcast without saying this. What is your after 17? And what we simply mean by that is, it can be something someone told you, but it can be the ways that drive you. Like if you're in this life, what are those ways that you always fall back on? What is your after 17?
I think you asked me the question, and I indirectly answered it. That you could be anything. When people ask me, who are you? I always tell them I'm Timothy Mukuma. And sometimes it sounds like I do not understand who I am. But in my mind, I'm telling myself that I'm more than just one thing. The person seated behind this camera might be thinking to themselves, I'm just a photographer, a videographer. But when you begin to sit down and evaluate yourselves, you realize that you can do more than just one thing. Everyone is multi-talented. Everyone has got multiple skills. And that then begins to open your mind and tell you, I have different ways in which I can be productive. I don't believe in being busy. I believe in being productive. Because you can be busy every day and yet not create an impact. It's better to do one thing, create an impact, than to do multiple things and not create an impact. You must be its value. And my simple definition is this. When we want to create value, take for instance a candle. If you get a candle and put it in a stadium, the candle's use is to create light. But in the stadium, it feels like there's nothing that it's doing. But if you put it in a house, it's able to show light and people are able to move around and do all of those things. So if we're going to be people of value, we need to first understand who we are and where we are positioning ourselves. It will then give us insight on what we can really do. And you realize that you are many things. The candle can light the house. It can also be used to, I was in boarding school, now you know, so you are Lufiamaki. So when you begin to understand that there are multiple things that you can do, you then become more productive than you are. And I think that one of my scriptures that I love the most is 1 Timothy 4:12, deliberately, of course.
First of all, your name.
Yeah, that do not let anyone look down on you because you are young, and that age shouldn't be your limit, money shouldn't be your limit, where you're coming from shouldn't be your limit. There's a certain level where certain excuses have to die. There's nothing like, no, the background I come from, at least after 20, you are the background. So you shouldn't come and tell us, no, my background, after you are now the background. Yes, and create it from there and scratch it. You can build and get to it. Yeah.
So now I'm for more background number.
Yeah.
All right. Whatever goes up as countdown. We've come to the end of the episode. I told you this is going to be special. We had to bring this person on the podcast because you had to learn, and I had to learn as well. Some people are not lost in life. They just took a different path away from you, or away from the usual plan people always take. And with that said, the path we took is Moka Moka. The name too nice, you have to say it twice. Who's Moka Moka? Moka Moka is a cafe garden and a gift show, by the way, in Itawa. In case you want to chill, in case you want to have fun, in case you and your family, you and your loved ones, you want to go there and go eat and relax, Moka Moka is a place for you. How can you locate it? Just in Itawa, out of Northern Command Hospital. On your left, if you're going towards Jacaranda Mall, and on your right, if you're going towards town before the hospital, you'll find it right there in Itawa. And with that said, finally with Quantum, if you want to get a car, just like me, I want to get a car right now. I went to Nala Insha in telling you. Okay, Ninja, but Nala Insha again.
Oh, you'll get there.
I'll get there, get there. Quantum is a place for you. You can get a new car, a brand new car, an affordable price here in Indola, here in Zambia. And there's a website actually that's already there. And we'll be talking about it quite soon in many episodes coming in front and how you can get it so easy online. And with that said, I go over to Mr. After 17. Let me say, we are the beauty and we are out.